Hello everyone and welcome to Power Rangers Stories. Here I bring you the untold and what could have been stories. So sit back, relax and get ready to listen to some more phenomenal adventures. Also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell to get notifications on the latest videos. And may the power protect you. Ninja Storm, the Pink Ninja Ranger. Chapter 5, Thunder Strangers, Part 2. Previously. Let's show these imposters who's who. In the Zord Zoo, Shane encouraged the others as the battle between the Zords started. Shane seemed to gain the upper hand at first, but the Insectizord suddenly burst out of a rock and blasted him, nearly knocking the Hawk Zord out of the sky. The Beetlezord caught Dustin, who cried out as he was trapped. Dustin managed to blast the Navy Ranger's Zord off him, but the Beetlezord disappeared before grabbing Tori's Dolphin Zord. Zoey's Fox leaped onto the Beetlezord's back and used its tail as a whip. She whipped at both Zords long enough for the others to get away. The Wind Rangers quickly formed the Megazord, and Zoey's shifted into warrior mode. However, the Thunder Rangers formed their own Megazord, and the three began to fight. And just like before, the Thunder Megazord overwhelmed them. Zoey hadn't received any upgrades yet, and she couldn't keep up with the Thunders as well as she wanted. They called on their Serpent Sword, but it didn't even seem to phase the Megazord when it struck it. They summoned a Power Sphere, and judging from the yells from her teammates, Zoey assumed that it was stolen from them. With a couple of quick slices, the Thunder Megazord defeated the Megazord and the Warrior Fox, as they crashed to the ground. Now time to do a little touchdown dance on their head, Crimson told his partner. We've knocked out their Zords. That's enough. Navy stated, for now. Come in, Shane. Cam called, Tori. Dustin. Zoey. Shane, Dustin, Tori, and Zoey were climbing up a hill after the crash, when Zoey heard others running in their direction. Thankfully they had demorphed to their civilian clothes. Come on. Whoever was coming was getting closer. Just need a phone, was all Zoey could think about. Just let me get back to Ninja Ops, so I can call Tommy. There. We were riding up when we saw the smoke, Blake said. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, Tori nodded. What happened? Hunter asked as he looked around the crash site. I was listening in the car on the way here, Kelly spoke up as she looked at the three. They think it was some kind of alien attack, she exclaimed with worry. That sort of thing happen a lot around here? Blake asked, still holding on to Tori. You never wondered why housing was so cheap? Shane grunted, doubled over as he caught his breath. We need to call someone. Kelly exclaimed with worry. The police, the FBI, the CIA. No, Kelly, Tori cut off the worried woman with a smile. We're fine, thanks, she insisted. Behind them, Hunter and Blake exchanged looks, and nodded. Come on, we better go, Shane nodded to the others, who agreed. Do you guys need a ride home? Kelly asked, looking over the four teens. No, we're okay, Dustin answered. Are you sure? I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah.
We're okay. Thanks, Kelly, Shane said, it's just a few bumps and bruises. We'll just pull out the first aid kit. No problem. Zoey, do you need me to call your brother? Kelly asked. No, that's okay, Kelly. I'll call him when I get home. Zoey hugged her and headed back up to Ninja Ops with the others, knowing that they were in for a lecture. Well, you've managed to reduce years of technological advance into scrap metal in a single afternoon. Cam looked up from the 4 broken morphers in his hands. Not to mention what you did to your Zords.
Yeah.
Like we could help it. Zoey muttered, sitting on the table. Cam, now is not the time, Sensei interrupted, smiling over at the Pink Ranger. I'm sorry, you're right, Cam didn't look very sorry. Thankfully, the auto-retreat allowed the reactors time to reset the holographic portals, he told them. I've engaged the self-reconstruct functions, he added as he walked back over to his computer. Dude, I've got no idea what you just said, Dustin informed him as they followed him over to the computer. The Zords are fixing themselves. They looked around at Zoey as she stood up. She stretched and answered the unasked question without even looking at anyone. I have my bachelor's in computer engineering. Remember? Cam and Sensei laughed as the three ninjas just gave her an incredulous stare and turned back to Cam and Sensei. Hey, Sensei, why didn't they finish us off? Shane asked as they all gathered around the computer.
Yeah.
Their Zords were sicko, bro. Dustin nodded, before realizing who he was talking to. I mean, Sensei, he bowed his head to be respectful. Thunder Zords. Created by the same technology that powers your own, Sensei told them as they looked to the video on the screen. Zoe's Fox Zord is the same, he added. I wouldn't say the same, exactly, Zoe smirked. I like to think that mine's a little special. She grinned at the looks she received. Prove me wrong, I dare you. Shane just shook his head in exasperation, moving on, please. I can't believe these Thunder Ninjas work for Lothar. I mean, that doesn't even make sense, Tori shook her head as she straightened up. No more than Zergain booking out of there when they showed up, Shane nodded. Dustin lifted his fried morpher and poked at it curiously. I suspect that with all evil alliances, there is dissension in their ranks, Sensei spoke up, and they frowned. Dissension that can be used to our advantage, when the time is right, he added, and Cam nodded. There is always some mutiny when it comes to the bad guys. Some little baddie or general trying to prove themselves, or others thinking they should be the ones in charge. It's a common occurrence. Zoe rambled off while she was doing stretches. I don't care why it happens, it just makes it more difficult for us, Shane grumbled. Since when do the bad guys care about making things easy for us? She asked him. Zoe just laughed at his lack of an answer. I hope these are under warranty, Dustin handed his morpher out to Cam, who rolled his eyes. I just feel totally helpless, Tori complained. There's gotta be something we can do, she looked to Sensei, hoping for an answer. For now, you must return to your daily lives, Sensei told them softly. If Lothar expects anything out of the ordinary, it will only give him more power, he spoke warningly. And be careful. They've already stolen the tsunami cycle disc somehow, who knows what they'll do next. If you talk to anyone, make sure that you trust them completely, Cam warned the four, and they nodded. And Zoe, don't forget to call your brother. Wouldn't want him to see that battle on the news and come all the way here to check on you, Zoe groaned at Sensei's words, but nodded in agreement. While the other three rangers returned to their normal lives, Zoe sat in Ninja Ops, thinking. She had just gotten off the phone with Tommy. After telling him everything that happened, poor guy was probably having evil Green Ranger flashbacks. She agreed to call after the next battle. Whether they've already talked that day or not. Now, she was working on a paper for one of her online classes, while Cam worked on the morphers. They worked in a companionable silence, except for Cam's occasional swearing as he shocked himself. Do you need any help? Zoe offered after he shocked himself for the 5th time. No, I'm fine, Cam quietly seethed, okay. Just let me know. Not like I didn't grow up in the original command center. Or that I didn't have lessons in technology and morphers from an alien robot built on the planet Edenoi. Cam looked over at her, yep, I am just completely useless over here. Zoe continued and she worked on her paper. She paused for a moment and smiled over at Cam. Just saying. They laughed, and Cam shrugged, before returning to his work. Cam. I need your help outside. The peaceful work was shattered as Tori burst into Ninja Ops, breathing heavily. Cam sighed, and Zoe peeked over the top of her laptop. Can't it wait? I've nearly got the morphers back online. Cam looked back down at the morpher, but Tori shook her head quickly. It's an emergency. My friend, he's hurt. Cam's eyes widened and he looked up at her sharply. And you brought him here? Zoe demanded as he got to his feet. Tori, what were you thinking? The ninja schools are supposed to be kept hidden. You ever heard of a hospital? She growled, marching over to her. Use your head. I know. But he was hurt because of me. Tori was frantic as she tugged on Cam's arm. Please? Come look at him, the Blue Ranger pleaded, and Cam sighed, shaking his head. It was one of Lothor's space freaks. We have to help him. Cam watched her as she pleaded with him. All right, he sighed, and relief spread across Tori's face. They ran outside, and found Blake lying outside with strange things on his chest. Blake? That explains it. Zoey sighed, and Tori went red as she shot in her direction. The three crouched down beside him, and Cam studied the tadpole-like creatures. What are these things? Tori asked as Cam removed one slowly. Some kind of cybernetic leech, he explained as he removed the other two. Looks like they dehydrate the human body until it just shuts down, he sighed as he put the things on the ground. Did you get them off in time? Tori asked as she took Blake's hand. I think so, Cam nodded as he checked Blake's pulse. Zoey tilted her head curiously as she watched the young man. This guy must drink a lot of water, he commented as Tori relaxed. His name's Blake, she told him. I don't care what his name is, Cam bit, looking up at her. Dad's gonna flip when he finds out you brought him here, he warned, and Tori smiled sweetly. Well then, maybe he shouldn't find out, she suggested, and Cam rolled his eyes. The morphers are on the console inside. Go get them and we'll stay here. Cam told the water ninja, who smiled brightly at him. Thanks Cam, she kissed the genius cheek and got up, heading back to the lake. Seriously? Men as a species are doomed, Zoey told Cam. Shut up, Cam rolled his eyes at her. Zoey just smiled at him, with neither noticing as Blake's eyes opened. He watched as Tori walked across the water and disappeared into the waterfall, and a smirk spread across his face. Tori, Zoey, and Blake all sat in Tori's van as it came to a stop at the motocross track so Blake can find his brother. Listen, Blake shrugged. Thanks for what you did back there. I mean, I don't know what happened. I guess I just blacked out. Blacked out. Knocked out. However you want to look at it. Zoey chuckled. You're such a distressed dude, man. Come on. Well.
Yeah.
Tori agreed, you did kinda take a nasty fall. You're actually pretty lucky. Lucky that your surfer babe heroine swooped in to rescue your butt. I feel like a chump, Blake said, glaring over at Zoey, who shrugged at him. I mean, I tried to save her first. She just ended up saving me instead. Like I said. She smirked, enjoying the irritation on his face. Forget it, Tori told him, slapping Zoey's leg, it's no big deal. It was then that Hunter appeared on Blake's side of the van looking worried. Hey, Hunter greeted, what happened? You alright? He's just a little waterlogged. Zoey called from the behind Tori's seat. Blake chuckled as he continued to stare at Tori. Long story. Blake opened his door. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah.
Tell him how you were making a fool of yourself, Zoey chuckled, receiving a confused smile from Hunter and another glare from the other two. When the Bradley brothers left, Tori looked at Zoey as they got out. You're a brat. You say that like it's a bad thing. They shared a chuckle as they went over to Shane to watch Dustin on his bike. They congratulated him when he was done, then they went back over to Tori's van. I got your morphers here, guys. I think we're going to need them, Tori told the boys just as Hunter and Blake showed up. Hey, Hunter greeted. Hey, Tori greeted back. Hey, guys, Dustin greeted as well. Hey, back. Zoey waved from the side of the van, again. I just wanted to say thanks for taking care of my bro, Hunter told Tori. Anytime. We owe you one, Hunter went on, and we always make good on our promises. He looked away as Zoey narrowed her eyes at him. Okay, good to know. Thanks. We gotta head home, Blake spoke up, parents, you know how it is? Dustin and Shane shared a look.
Yeah.
Okay, Tori said. I'll catch you later.
See ya. Yeah.
Later. After the brothers left, Tori pulled out her purse and took out 3 morphers, since Zoe was already wearing hers, and passed Dustin and Shane theirs. Here, she told them, when you see Cam, say thank you. I think he's feeling a little unappreciated. Dude, they told Kelly that they didn't live with their parents, right? Dustin asked Shane as he placed his morpher on his let wrist like Shane was doing. I mean, that's what we heard.
Yeah.
That's right, Shane agreed, making Tori look at them in confusion before all 4 morphers went off. I've located the frog again, Cam told them, he's at the riverbank. Hurry. Dude, if Cam wants a frog, let's stop by the pet store, Dustin told them, making all 3 of them look at him with raised eyebrows. I mean, they've got, like, a tank full of them. Dustin used his hands to emphasize his point. I'll explain on the way, Tori told him as she walked forward. You ready? Ready. Ninja storm. Firestorm. Ranger form.
Ha!
Power of earth. Air. Water. Fire. When they finished morphing, they streaked to the riverbank to confront the frog. Before they could do anything, however, Amphibodor shot a purple energy blast at them that surrounded them and chained them together. I can't move, the girls exclaimed. Going up. Amphibodor stated as the Rangers were lifted into the air. Next floor, housewares and sporting goods, he yelled. Hope you can swim. A blast went off, knocking the Rangers into the water below. I knew they'd make a splash. The Rangers jumped back out of the water as if nothing happened. Okay, guys, Shane said as he looked at his team ninja beams. They all fired different colored beams at the alien, only for him to vanish. Where did he go? Tori asked. You guys like hip-hop? Amphibodor asked as he hopped back into view, knocking the Rangers down, but they just got back up. Polytrons. 4 of the cybernetic leeches attached themselves to the Rangers before blowing up once again, knocking them down. Friendly, aren't they? This guy's tough, Shane mumbled as they got back onto their feet. Zoe groaned when she heard thunder, making them all look around to find the source. 2 different colored streaks of lightning hit the ground, making smoke before it cleared to reveal the Thunder Rangers standing there. What? Like fighting a giant frog wasn't bad enough, Dustin commented. Thunder staffs, the Thunder Rangers said as they pulled their staffs off their back. Attack. Get ready, guys, Shane said. Here they go. The 4 Rangers stared in disbelief as, instead of attacking them, they charged at Amphibodor. What? But I thought we were on the same team, the monster yelled as it was thrown away from the Rangers. I guess not. Polytrons. The Thunders pulled apart their staffs and crimson and navy-colored electricity filled the middle. Thunder shield, and the Polytrons bounced off and hit the frog, throwing him to the ground as they exploded. The Thunders broke apart their staffs and put one piece on top of the other. Thunder staff. Tornado star. The star glowed and they threw it at the frog, causing him to crackle with electricity. Then they called on their personal weapons. Crimson blaster. Navy antlers. You ready? You know it. The Navy Ranger lunged forward, and his antlers opened. When they gripped the frog in the middle, he lifted the monster up and threw him away. Amphibodor landed on its feet and turned around laughing. That didn't hurt. How about this? The Crimson Ranger held up his blaster and fired several shots. The frog hit the ground hard. Let's put it together. Thunder Blaster. After combining their weapons, they took aim and fired. I'm too young to croak. Amphibodor protested before blowing up. Hey, wait. Shane yelled, what's up with you guys? Why did you just help us? Tori asked. Hello, Dustin tried next. Anybody in there? We're even, the Crimson Ranger told them without turning around. Wind Rangers. Even? Zoey said quietly. Why would we be even, unless, she stopped. Oh, no. I am such an airhead. The others looked over at her. What do you mean? Shane questioned her. But before she could reply, Amphibodor was revived with a scroll of empowerment. That's going to have to wait, Shane spoke into his morpher. Hey, Cam. Guess what we need? Don't tell me, Cam answered as he sent the Wind Ninja Zords and the Fire Fox to them. They Wind Rangers formed the Megazord, and Zoey activated Fox Warrior mode. Zoey, I found an activation code for your Zord. Sending it to you now. Cam called out to her. It will allow you to call for the Fox Zord's battle glaive. Thanks, Cam. Zoey replied. She watched the screen as the new code popped up and typed it into the mainframe. Battle glaive, activate. Her Zord's tail disengaged and changed into a giant pink and gold glaive. She then cut through and blocked Amphibodor's Polytrons, though the Wind Rangers weren't as lucky. Cam. Tori called. Anything you can send our way? Try the ram hammer. What do you guys think? Shane asked the other two.
Yeah.
Dustin and Tori agreed. Cam uploaded the power disk to Dustin. Power disk received. Let's lock and drop. Amphibodor turned to the Wind Rangers.
Aww.
You had to go there, didn't you? He whined. Completely ignoring Zoey now, he didn't see her come up behind him. Don't forget about me, Swamp Brain. Bring it on, Frog Face. Shane yelled out. Amphibodor launched his Polytrons at them, but they were able to knock them back at him. They exploded on impact, sending Amphibodor to the ground. Is he down for good? Dustin asked. Just resting. Amphibodor told them as he got back up. What else you got? How about a little batting practice? Shane, batter up. Zoey yelled. She swung her battle glaive around, forming a ring of energy. Fox fire. Power up. She threw it at Amphibodor, and as expected, he deflected it, sending at the Megazord. Moron. Zoey thought as the ram hammer swung up and sent it back at the frog, destroying him for good. All right. The group walked into Ninja Ops talking back and forth.
Yeah.
Dustin said, that's what they told Kelly. No parents. Blake and Hunter lied to me? Tori asked, why? Shane turned to Zoey. What did you mean earlier, when you called yourself an airhead? Just that I figured out who the Thunder Rangers are. She replied, looking at them. What? Who? They looked back at her. Before she could answer, they heard movement coming from the other side of the room. They looked over to see the Thunder Rangers standing there holding Cam. They all fell into fighting stances when they saw them. What are you doing here? Shane snarled, but instead of answering, the Thunder Rangers demorphed, and their true identities took everyone, but Zoey, by surprise. I knew it, she exclaimed. The three Wind Ninjas straightened up as they stared at Hunter and Blake. What do you want? Dustin growled, trying to keep his voice flat, but they could hear the quiver in it. How did you get in here? He asked. Ask her, Hunter responded coldly, looking at Tori. Blake, she looked to the Navy Ranger, who was still holding Cam tightly. I'm sorry, he apologized, and Zoey looked at him in surprise. He sounded genuinely guilty for misleading her. But we had to find the Ninja Ops. I didn't mean to use you, he told her, but Tori just looked away, unable to believe it.
Yeah.
Right, Zoey scoffed, tell it to someone who might actually believe you. And trust me, she won't. She focused her glare at Hunter, who flinched in understanding. If you hurt him, I will hunt you down, she growled after a moment, but her voice shook just like Dustin's had. You better believe it, Zoey joined in, I don't go easy on people who hurt my friends. Human or not. I will take you both down. Fair warning. You don't piss off a Pink. The brothers looked over at her, nervous. Leave him, Hunter told Blake, who tossed Cam into the others. We've got what we want. As Shane pushed Cam behind them, Hunter smirked.
Goodbye,
Rangers, and good luck in your future battles. Hunter and Blake threw down smoke bombs, making the 4 Rangers and Cam cover their eyes. They looked up to see the Thunder brothers were gone. Everyone all right? Tori asked as she looked around. Cam pushed past them and ran to his father's habitat. What did they want here? Shane asked. Cam straightened up, pulling his glasses off as his worry shone clear. My father. They took my father, he told them, and they stared at him, stunned. To be continued. That's it for Chapter 4, Part 2 of Ninja Storm, the Pink Ninja Ranger. I'll be having a lot more of this series out soon, continuing the Pink Ranger story. Remember, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. As always, may the power protect you, and see you for the next adventure.